Fee-fi-fo-fum. The year's first giant adventure is Jack the Giant Slayer, a twist on the classic Jack and the Beanstalk. While it isn't entirely fun or fancy, and certainly not free, it's pretty entertaining. Set in medieval times, Jack, played by Nicholas Hoult of X-Men First Class and Warm Bodies, lives on a farm with his uncle. As a child, Jack learned the story of the giants who went to war with humans and were defeated, forcing them to create their own land high above the clouds. The king's daughter, Isabel, Eleanor Tomlinson, was told the same tale by her mother when she was a young girl. Now grown, Jack goes into town to sell a horse to buy provisions to fix the house he now lives in with his uncle. Instead, a monk gets Jack to trade the horse for some beans, which he says have magic powers. That night, Jack drops a bean and it falls through a crack in the floor. Isabel, looking for some adventure in her life, sneaks out of the castle and ends up at Jack's house. And it's raining. I think you can see what's coming. The king, played by who else? Ian McShane, orders his top knight, Ewan McGregor, and his servant, Stanley Tucci, to rescue his daughter, who's now all the way up at the top of the beanstalk. Jack decides to join the mission to save the princess and take down the infamous man-eating giants who are holding Isabel captive.
Now, this is our second fairy tale-based film already this year. I gotta hope that it's better than Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
Yeah, it is much better. It's not a classic by any means, but it's amusing, it's mildly entertaining, and it holds your interest. There are plenty of action scenes, and none of them are boring, but the story is formulaic, and there's not a lot of suspense or tension. I'd say that it has its highs and lows, but that would be on par with most of the corny dialogue in the film.
This is a heck of a cast, though, especially for a fantasy action adventure. You have Ewan McGregor, Stanley Tucci, Ian McShane. These guys could be doing a Shakespeare remake, not a fairy tale remake.
Right. Tucci's one of my favorite actors, but this is kind of a one-note throwaway role for him. But hey, even great actors have to eat. McShane is quite comfortable playing a king. He plays a king in almost every role. But what's most amazing is McGregor's performance, because his hair stays up perfectly the entire time through all the battles, all the chase sequences, and the death-defying confrontations with the giants. The two leads, Hoult and Tomlinson, are okay together, but neither has leading role qualities.
Oh, maybe the hairstylist played the leading role here. Okay, from what we're seeing, the giants look pretty cool, though.
Yes, they use motion capture technology here for the giants instead of traditional CGI, which is impressive. These are the best-looking, hideously disgusting creatures to hit the big screen in quite some time. You've got Bill Nighy playing the lead giant, and it's the look of Jack that helps it rise above the typical ordinary films in the genre, putting some films like Clash and Wrath of the Titans to shame.
Rise above, no pun intended. Okay, this is a new twist on a story traditionally aimed at young children. What's the age group for it?
It's rated PG-13 for the action, violence, and some scenes of peril. It's appropriate for kids 11 and up.
Okay, what's the grade, Jackson?
On the official LCJ report card, Jack the Giant Slayer gets a C+. I saw it in 3D, but again, if you want to see it in 2D, save some money, that's perfectly fine.
All right, what are we going to look at next week?
Next week, I'm still looking for the first great film of 2013. Maybe it's going to be Oz the Great and Powerful, also Disney's first big film of 2013.
All right, we look forward to that.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for being here, Jackson.
All right.
You can catch Jackson's reviews every Saturday right here on YNN, but if you miss them, you can find them on his website. That's lights-camera-jackson.com.